The economy has indeed hit bottom and is now on its way toward recovery. So we would look for some retracement in the market. We would be wholehearted buyers in getting fully invested for 2010, 11, and 12 in what we see are going to be very, very strong equity returns from what have been certainly previously very, very depressed levels, and what we see are going to be much more compensatory fair market value for ongoing concern. The stock market, particularly in the financial area, has been selling on a bankruptcy basis, and clearly the banking industry is not going bankrupt. And if Bank of America can turn around yesterday and raise almost $14 billion of capital, there clearly are people that are ready to buy these concerns and not fear that they're going bankrupt. So we see that as a continued stimulus to long-term increase in going concern values and tremendous upside potential, particularly in a reflated economy over the next 2 or 3 years. But we certainly have to get over the immediate term. And I just want to start to talk about non-residential construction. And let's turn to our first slide, an architectural billings index, because that has certainly been a harbinger of news coming out of the construction industry with a 9+ per month lead time. And as you can see from the slide, we hit rock bottom in the early part of this year, indicating the difficulties that were pervasive through most of the non-residential construction area. Of note is we saw a huge jump in the March Architectural Billing Index to over 40, and this morning the April numbers were released, and while there was a very slight retreat, it's still a very healthy number of over 40, and we're starting to see again some improvement in some selected areas. We shouldn't get carried away that we're out of the woods. There is certainly a lot of damage that is currently going on, and what we continue to believe will continue to be negative news, particularly for commercial construction over the remainder of this year and into next year. But institutional construction projects and inquiries are showing an increase. There is, in this survey, an increase in inquiries as a result of federal stimulus money starting to filter through for inquiries on infrastructure. On the other hand, we should look at this. This is a diffusion index, which means we subtract the minuses from the pluses. And what we've been seeing in these last 2 months' reports is that the respondents are reporting a lesser rate of decline in their orders and inquiries rather than a complete continued fall-off, which is what we were seeing for the fourth quarter and early this year. And that's a positive sign, is that we're starting to hit some sort of equilibrium level in that the level of contraction is diminishing. I'd like to go to the next slide, commercial real estate loans, year-to-year percentage change. And here again, we're seeing what we were forecasting last year, a huge fall-off in real estate loans being booked by banks. The April numbers that are just out, which are not on this slide, are showing just a 4.5% increase year over year in commercial real estate loans. That's down from 5.3% in the month of March. In October of 08, we were still looking at commercial real estate loans of over 10% year-over-year increases. From December of 2008 to April of 2009, the absolute level of outstanding commercial real estate loans is essentially flat. And that did not even occur in the 2001-2002 recession. So we are looking at fairly unprecedented weakness in the commercial real estate market. We warned about this to our clients last year. We thought this was inevitable given the nature of the recession and the spread that this was occurring from residential to the financial markets into commercial real estate. We've looked or talked to bankers in terms of where they see strength and weakness. They see strength in the biotech projects and research facilities are areas that the banks seem to be favoring. Infrastructure from government stimulus are getting attention from the banks. Interestingly, or not interestingly, as we forecasted last December, the banks are being very tight in regards to credit. Their standards have been substantially raised. They are looking very, very much at current cash flow in regards to the kind of loans or lending programs that they're going to put together. They are not at all impressed with pro forma. They want to see current cash flow and what is visibly predictable. Also, bankers are telling us that they're increasingly relying on existing relationships to continue lending, that they are less interested in starting new relationships with new borrowers that they have no history with or they don't know. This is again a factor in the lending environment, and that it's a fact of life that we've moved from a borrower's market of 2 or 3 years ago to a lender's market currently. Also, a number of the bankers have told me that some of the supply in the marketplace has dried up and has still not come back, and so that even lends further credence to the fact that it's again a lender's market. I'm going to turn to our last slide, which is commercial mortgage-backed security delinquency, and this is a barometer or a proxy for the losses that have been accrued so far. As you can see from this chart, it's had a huge, dramatic increase, and these are mortgage-backed security delinquency rates among all major investor groups, and you can see the tremendous escalation since January, even since September of 2008, which is, again, just the last six months. Again, our banking sources tell us that, again, the really sick and weak areas are retail, offices, hotels, and industrial and warehouse and distributions. These are areas of chronic weakness. The banks are steering away. If they are committed into them, what they're seeing are high vacancy rates in these projects. They're seeing increasing amount of tenant delinquencies, forcing tenant concessions, waiver modifications, restructuring and concessions by landlords and lenders alike.